Hallo, wie geht's? Ich kann eure Antworten nicht hören. I can't hear your answers. I am staring into a computer and this is really, really weird. So, aber ja, hier sind wir. Ich hoffe, euch geht's gut. Also ich weiß, dass es ja, dass alles sehr komisch ist. Ist leider so. So yeah, this is the first of many videos that I'll be making for you guys. Like I said in the email, I probably won't make these every day, but I will try to as often as you guys like. And what I would recommend that you guys do is if you have problems, if you have technical difficulties or anything like that, let me know, obviously. But also, if you just would prefer that I make these videos differently, if there's something that I do that's unhelpful or confusing or whatever, please give me suggestions, because this is my first time doing this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not surprisingly not an Instagram influencer. I don't have a fitness page or anything like that, which I know is shocking. But yeah, so let me know what I'm doing poorly so that I can make it better for you guys. Today we're gonna start with Kapitel 4. So that's the wrong one. So yeah, we are just starting chapter 4 now, and like I alluded to before, the way that the rest of the semester is going to work is we just moved everything up and we got rid of our review week for the final. So we're going to be doing a presentation or a project, not a presentation, but a final project instead of a final test. So you guys will have, I'll give you more information about that when I know more about it. Right now we haven't settled on what we want our project to be yet. We've got some ideas. If you guys have ideas of things that you'd like to do, let me know. But yeah, so all of that's kind of up in the air right now. But what I do know is that we are going to just keep going forward with Kapitel 4. And I'll be showing you guys how you're going to hand in homework and stuff for this at the end of the lesson. So yes, yeah, okay, that's all I'll say for now. And we can go ahead and get started. Please make sure while you're before I launch into all this, make sure you have your books with you, because we will be using our books. If you have your ebook, if you have access to your ebook, you can just have that pulled up next to this video. Otherwise, yeah, you don't have to have your ebook. You can just use your regular book, and we'll go through it. But yeah, we can go ahead and start. And yeah, I'm sure I've forgotten something. I'll mention it later. But yeah, so Kapitel 4, erste Woche. So this slide is called Erste Woche, first week, because this is probably how we're going to be doing it from now on, rather than daily make something new for you guys. What we're going to try and do is throughout the week get as much work as we can do ahead of time done, so that you guys can work on it kind of at your own pace, rather than kind of having to wait on us if you just want to get stuff done quickly so you can work on other stuff during the week, or if you want to wait a little bit longer because you're working on another project or something else, and then kind of do it at the end of the week, you can do that too. Ideally, you would be looking at this stuff every week. You need to be practicing German every day. I know that there's a lot going on. Hopefully you guys aren't too busy. Hopefully your life's not too stressful, but I really recommend, even if it's not going through the lesson of the day or whatever it is, try to at least do one thing at Duolingo, or just watch, I don't know, one episode of a German show on Netflix, or just change the language to German on Netflix, whatever you guys need to do. But please try and still keep it like a daily thing. But just know that we are going to try and make this a little bit easier for you guys and have the lesson set up kind of beforehand, so you can work ahead or from behind, whichever way you prefer to do. So, okay, das war das. So, Tag 1, also ich kann die Uhrzeit sagen, so I can tell the time. So, yeah, auf Seite 112, da beginnen wir. Aber ich werde erstmal alle unsere Tagesziele lesen, ja. So, I can tell the time, Modal und Auxiliary Verben. So, und heute werden wir nur über sollen und wollen sprechen. Und Sentence Bracket, Satzklammer. Und ja, das sehen wir später. Und dann die Hausaufgaben. So, die Hausaufgaben, das werde ich auch später besprechen. Ja, so I'll explain that a little bit later as well. Und Zoom-Stunde. So, I'm going to be using Zoom. If you guys have Zoom accounts, great. If you don't, get one. They're super easy to make. And that is where I'll be doing like my office hours. I will be doing them probably every day. I don't know if you can see that because I can't see where my head is right now. But so that's 1 to 2 that I'm doing them tomorrow. It'll probably be around that time every day. So you guys can go ahead and set up, like you can either just kind of hop on if you know how Zoom works. You just have to message me and I can give you like the meeting ID. Or you can kind of set up an appointment with me through Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord. Please join the Discord because it's really an easy way to reach out to me and get, like set up an appointment with me, ask a question, anything like that. Please join the Deutsch Discord. I sent you guys the link for that in this last email that I sent. So make sure you are on that. It's super easy to use. I know it's like a little weird. Maybe some of you guys haven't used it before, but it's really easy and really convenient for me. And I'm selfish and I don't want to use anything else. So you have to do that. So, but yeah, so da sind unsere Tagesziele, our goals for the day. Und wir fangen jetzt an. So, die Uhrzeit. Die Uhrzeit is, and I know you can't see this one on the corner because I know that my head's going to be in the way for that one. So I'm sorry, but I will read it for you guys. So yeah, die Uhrzeit, that is the, like the clock time, right? So, Zeit auf Deutsch heißt time und Uhr heißt hour, right? So it's like the hour time. Or Uhr is also like, excuse me. Uhr means, also das heißt clock, yeah, clock. Stunde ist hour. Aber yeah, so once again, that's the clock time, yeah, die Uhrzeit. So we're going to practice a little bit how you tell time, looking at a clock. I realize that probably most of you just look at your phones. You don't look at like the big hand, the hour hand, or the minute hand, or whatever else. But those are die Uhr, die wir heute anschauen werden. But obviously it works the same whether it's digital or not. So yeah, this first one, as you'll see, there are a few different ways to say it, right? We have here 3 different ways that we can say the time for all of these. So diese erste Uhr haben wir 9:02, 21:02 und kurz nach 9. Yeah. So what do you guys think that is? You've got 9:02, 21:02. 9 heißt 9, right? Und 21 heißt 21. So if we're saying 21 with time, right, and we're using that with 9, that means that it is military time, right? Which is what we call military time, the Germans just call time. This is so weird. I'm asking you guys questions and you can't answer. I don't like it. But yes, so yeah, what we call military time, they just call time. That's what they use pretty much everywhere all the time. It's always used in official settings, and even like in unofficial settings, it's used because it's way less confusing, right? Because you don't have to say in the morning or in the afternoon, right? I mean, sometimes it's obvious depending on the context, right? If we say, wir machen eine Party 9 Uhr, right? So if I say we're having a party at 9, right? You can probably guess that I mean 9 in the afternoon, right? And I said that in German because sometimes, albeit not that often, Germans will use time like we use time, where we would say 9, right? Even if we meant 9 in the evening, right? But again, most of the time they would say 21 Uhr, yeah, 21 Uhr. So, and then after that Uhr, so we have our hour, right? 9:02, right? So that 2 is just 2, right? That's the minute there, right? So 9:02 oder 21:02. And then we have kurz nach 9. Kurz nach 9. So a couple words that are important to know, right, are kurz und vor, right? So we have here kurz, nach und vor. Nach und vor. So we have here nach, right? We have here nach. I can just use my cursor, right? Oh, whoops. So we have here nach, and we have here vor, right? So nach means, we've seen this before, right? It means after, yeah? And then vor, we can probably, I'll assume what that means, right? That means before, right? So when we're using kind of the slang for time, when we're not speaking officially, or we're just kind of saying it umgangssprachlich, right? Umgangssprachlich, so kind of in like a slang term. Well, we can say kurz nach 9. Kurz nach 9, which means kurz. Kurz means like shortly. So shortly after 9, right? So that'd be another way you could say 9, how we would say 9:02, right? You could say kurz nach 9, right? So just 2 minutes after 9, you can just say it's like shortly after 9, right? In this case, you could not say kurz nach 21, right? In that case, you are always going just to use whatever the number on the clock face is, right? Even if it's kurz nach 9 Uhr abends, right? If it's in the evening, so it's 21 Uhr, you still wouldn't say kurz nach 21, you'd say kurz nach 9. So if it's ever used in this way, like this umgangssprachlich Methode, ja, dann sagen wir 9 oder 7 und so weiter, ja, oder 10, 11, 12, was weiß ich, ja. Wir sagen einfach, was auf dem Uhr steht, ja. Okay, und jetzt haben wir unsere zweite Uhr, und wir haben hier ja 7:14 Uhr, ja, 7:14 Uhr oder 19:14 Uhr. So nochmal sehen wir den Unterschied, so 7 Uhr ist morgens, ja, nicht abends, sondern morgens, ja, und 19 Uhr ist abends, ja, abends, so morgen, ja, das ist morning, abends, evening, ja, so 7 Uhr ist morgens, 19 Uhr ist abends, ja, so 7:14 Uhr, 19:14 Uhr. Und dann haben wir Viertel nach 7, so, Viertel, what do we think? So 4, das heißt 4, right? So Viertel nach 7 is like a quarter after 7. So that's quarter, that's how they say quarter past, right? So ein Viertel is a quarter, right? It's a quarter past 7, right? And then we can also use this if the minute hand were on, I keep pointing at the screen, if the minute hand were on the 9, right? We could also say Viertel vor 8, right? So Viertel nach 7, so then you would say it's a quarter past 7, or you could say it's a quarter before 8, right? If that minute hand were on the 9. Okay, so the rest of these are pretty much the same kind of ideas. There's no real new like umgangssprachliche Wege, die Zeit zu sagen. There is in your book, right? So that's what we're going to look at now. Auf Seite 112 gucken wir. And I've got the ebook up here as well. So again, this is kind of showing what I already went through, right? Es ist 1, es ist 1 Uhr, es ist 13 Uhr. So yeah, you can also say, if you don't want to say like if you don't want to say Uhr, you could say es ist 1, es ist 2, es ist 3, es ist 4, es ist 15, right? Without the Uhr, so you don't always need the Uhr. That's how I say it normalerweise. Das ist ein bisschen Englisch, yeah. Normally I'll say Uhr, and I mean, it just kind of depends on the context, but oftentimes you'll hear the Uhr. You'll almost always hear the Uhr if they're using, again, that kind of like military time, right? So here they have es ist 13 Uhr, right? Rather than just es ist 13. If you said es ist 13, they would understand you. It's just not the way that it would normally be said. And again, we have here So the kind of es ist 10 nach 1, right? Es ist Viertel nach 1. So again, right, we have Minuten here, right, in Klammer, right? So you could say es ist 10 Minuten nach 1. Right? You could say it is 10 minutes after 1. But just like in English, they usually just say it is 10 after 1. Es ist 10 nach 1, right? Viertel haben wir schon gesehen. Aber dann sehen wir hier 1:30. So 1:30, that is pretty unique to German, to how Germans tell time, right? So basically the way that works is here, it's kind of hard to see on this clock face, right? But it's showing that it is 1:30, right? 1:30. So if you say es ist 1:30, so 1/2, was heißt 1/2? 1/2 ist half, right? 1/2. So here we're saying it's 1:30. It's 1:30. And that kind of makes sense that it's 1:30. It's 1:30, right? Because it's the half of that hour, right? Another half hour and we'll have 2, yeah? So es ist 1:30, es ist 1:30. So when you say 1:30, if any German says es ist 1:30, es ist 1:30, right? Just know that hour that they're saying, 2 oder 4 oder 3 oder was weiß ich, yeah? That it's going to be that hour in half an hour, right? So es ist 1:30 heißt es ist 1:30, ja? Oder es ist 13:30, yeah? Depending on if it's in the morning or if it's in the evening, right? Okay, so that is a quick look. The rest of these are basically the same. Again, right? So we saw an example of Viertel nach, but we also have Viertel vor, right? Es ist Viertel vor 2, depending on if our minute hand's on the 3 or the 9, right? So those are just, and those are oftentimes, that's what people will say, right? They use, just like here, I don't know how many of you guys say like quarter past or like half past. Maybe not that often. In Germany, they say it a lot, right? If it's 3:15 or 3:45, you will very rarely hear someone say es ist 3:15, yeah? Or es ist 3:45, right? We often say, like, I think I probably would always say it's 3:45. I don't think I'd ever say it's a quarter till 4. I don't know how you guys do it, but in Germany, that's very rare, right? If they're just speaking to you, it will almost always be that es ist 13 Uhr, also es ist Viertel vor 2, ja, oder Viertel vor 4 oder was weiß ich, ja. Okay. Here, yeah, well, we can go over these really quick. So die neue Wörter, this is kind of, so just to give you a little heads up for your vocab, it's going to be, part of it is going to be about time, right? Not the whole thing. But yeah, so we've got here just a few ways, right? We've learned how to say the time, but how do we even ask what time it is, right? So the most common that you'll hear is this first one, right? This wie spät ist es? And I'll play it. I'll see how well this works.
Wie spät ist es?
Wie spät ist es? Yeah. So that is what you will normally hear. So that literally translates to how late is it? How late is it, right? And it doesn't have to be late in the day for you to ask this question in Germany, right? It could be, you could wake up at 7 in the morning and not have to do anything until 10. You can be like, wie spät ist es? Yeah. And that's a normal way to ask the time. Wie viel Uhr ist es? Wie viel Uhr ist es? So that also says, the English translations in the book are just both what time is it. But remember, wie spät ist es? How late is it? And wie viel Uhr ist es? Is how many clock is it, basically, right? How many clock is it? So here, yeah, this says wie viel Uhr is somewhat more formal than wie spät. Wie viel Uhr ist es? Almost nobody asks that. Like I have almost never ever heard this used. Wie viel Uhr ist es is probably more something you would ask when wanting to know what time an event is. And in that case, you wouldn't say wie viel ist es, you'd say wie viel Uhr. Yeah, wie viel Uhr ist es. So like at which hour is it? At how many clock is it? Right. So yeah, this one I wouldn't use it that much. And then we have what we already went over before. And yeah, die Stunde is like an hour, right? So that's when you're talking about an hour outside of a specific time, right? So that's like Uhr is like o'clock, right? Of the clock, Uhr, right? Like I've an Uhr that is a clock, right? So and Stunde is an hour, right? So we say 13 Uhr because that's 13 of the clock. And Stunde just means hour, right? So like, when are we going to meet? Wann treffen wir uns? In einer Stunde, yeah? In an hour. So in that case, this isn't used, an hour isn't used with like a specific time. It's used to like a minute or an hour, right? That's how we use Stunde. Okay, we'll go back to the PowerPoint really quick here. So that is, that's time. That's a very quick rundown of time. There are activities in the book that I recommend you do for sure. Look at Aktivität 1. Look at Aktivität 1. I'll actually write that down now. So Aktivität 1 auf Seite 112. Look at that because it's, and this is a listening activity. So make sure you have access to your ebooks for that. But yeah, I'm not gonna go through that with you. I want you guys to practice that on your own. And I don't want you to have to hear the garbled audio through my computer. It's yours. But yes, so look at that. And if that's a criticism you guys have, if you want me to do these activities with you in the future, I absolutely will. Just let me know what's easier for you. But I thought maybe it would be a little bit easier if I just gave you guys the chance to do that on your own. Okay, so yes, practice a little bit more with time. Again, that's going to be mostly a vocabulary thing, but remember those phrases, how to ask time, how to ask what time it is. Ja, wie viel Uhr oder wie spät ist es? Ist ein bisschen häufiger. Ja, so wie spät ist es? Oder und auch die Antworten. Ja, so es ist 1, es ist 13 Uhr. And just remember that they mostly use that military time. Okay, so the second thing that we're going to talk about, the last thing that we're going to talk about is Modalverben. So Modalverben, they are what we call in English modal verbs. And I'll explain that in English just so it's clear. So we can look auf Seite 126. Auf Seite 126. Basically, Modalverben are verbs that like change the mode of other verbs. I don't know why this isn't working. There it is. So they're things like should or would like or must, want to, yeah, stuff like that, right? Because if I say I must, right, then I need another verb. What must I do, right? If I say I want to, what do I want to do, right? I have to have another verb there. So in this case, we are always going to have, if we have should or want to, which are the two verbs we're going to talk about today, or like we see here, can or would like, right? Then we need, what can you do, right? You need a second verb there. So all of these sentences here are going to have two verbs. So the interesting thing about sentences in German is the verb placement, right? Where it goes. So I really, really hope that all of you know where a verb always goes in a German sentence. I wish that I could ask you. This sucks, guys. I gotta tell you, I like teaching in person better. But yeah, so if I ask, like if I write a German sentence, my verb is always going to be in the second position, right? It's always going to be in the second position. But was ist, wenn wir zwei Verben haben? Was ist, wenn wir zwei Verben haben? What are we going to do if we have two verbs? How do we do that? Well, the answer is fairly simple, right? All we're going to do is we're going to kick that second verb to the end of the sentence, right? And it's going to stay in the infinitive form, right? So nothing's going to change about the verb. It's going to stay in infinitive, and it's going to be at the end of the sentence or clause, right? So here we have a couple of examples. And this is what we call our Satzklammer. So that's like a sentence bracket, right? So that's that picture there is the Satzklammer. So basically it brackets in the sentence, right? We have these two things that are always going to stay in the same position. We have our first conjugated verb, which is always going to be in the second position. I need to get used to thinking backwards. So always going to be in the second position. And then we have our second unconjugated verb, which is always going to be at the end of the sentence or clause, right? So, and as you guys can see here, well, maybe not because you haven't learned them yet, but we have here in the second position, which verb is in our second position, right? So we have, like I said, we have our modal verbs, which is those are our verbs that change the other verbs. And then we have that second verb that gets changed, right? That's being changed by our modal verb, right? That verb, so our modal verb, is that in the second position or is that the last position? Möchten, so morgen möchten, so möchten is would like to, yeah? And morgen möchten wir Tennis spielen, yeah? Und spielen, to play, right? So möchten, in this case, that's our modal verb. And that is in the second position, right? Zweiter Platz. So every single time you have a modal verb, that is the one that's going to be in the second position. That is the verb that's going to get conjugated, right? So that's the verb that's going to react, that has to agree with our subject, right? So like we have here, morgen möchten wir Tennis spielen, yeah? So möchten has to agree with wir. Spielen just stays infinitive, right? Just stays infinitive. So, like I said, today we are just doing sollen und wollen, right? So I just talked about möchten. We'll focus on that another day. But today, yeah, we're just doing sollen und wollen. So I have here a couple of Beispielsätze, yeah, so example sentences. And these, I'm going to send you guys this PowerPoint as well, so you can practice on your own if you'd like to, but I just thought we could go through this really quick together if you guys want to do that. But yeah, so we've got here, just talked about Satzklammer, we have here Beispielsätze. So we have two verbs in these sentences, right? So every sentence has two verbs, and we only have sollen und wollen. So sollen is, no, it's not really a cognate. I was going to say it's kind of a cognate, aber es ist nicht, right? Sollen is should, right? That's should. So again, if I say I should, what should you do, right? Should needs a second verb. If we say I should in English, then we need another verb, right? That we should do. And then wollen is want to, right? So ich will, I want to do something, right? You have to have another verb there. You can also use this like the way we use want, right? So like I want Bratwurst, yeah? So I just want something. You don't need another verb. You just need something that you want. You can do that as well. And wollen works the exact same way. So ich will Bratwurst, kann man sagen, right? But it's also the modal verb, right? And it's just the difference in English is that we say want to, right? We just have that too. In German, there's not that difference there. And I'm sure that my head is covering up that last question or maybe the last two a little bit, but I'll read through them anyways. So yeah, wir haben ich zur Schule Yeah, ich zur Schule So we have here, I've got our two verbs, sollen und gehen. Yeah, sollen und gehen. So sollen is our Modalverb, and gehen is our normal verb, right? Just the other verb, the thing that we should do, right? So we should go. So ich zur Schule So I kind of gave it away a little bit, but we have ich soll zur Schule gehen, right? So, little hint, gehen, it's in the infinitive form. That second verb is always going to stay in that form, right? It's never, ever going to get conjugated. Nothing ever happens to it, right? So I mentioned that earlier, but just a reminder, right? It's never going to change. It's always going to stay in the infinitive form. So that should give you a little hint as to where what the rest of these are going to look like. I did throw in a little bit of a curveball right away, right? Wir haben hier eine Frage. Right? A question. So, du, So, what do we think we begin with? Do we begin with our Modalverb or our normal verb, right? Well, wie immer, es ist unser Modalverb, right? Our modal verb is always going to go in front of the verb that it's modifying, right? So, willst du, right? So we have, again, verb is always in second position unless it's a question, and then it goes to the beginning, just like in English, right? Right? Okay, so I'm like expecting you guys to answer. It's so weird. Okay, willst du und dann fahren, right? Because nothing changes. Willst du fahren? Das war's. Und dann haben wir wollen und essen, right? Wollen und essen, so we have wollen nochmal. Remember, that's to want, right? So wir, Bratwurst, Again, Modalverb, Platz Nummer 1. So wir wollen Bratwurst essen. Yeah, we want to Bratwurst eat, right? We want to Bratwurst eat, right? So I should to school go, right? This is where we start to see the word order change in German, right? We've seen it a couple times, right? But this is where we really see it. And if you wanted to switch these around, right? If we didn't want to start with our subject, right? If we wanted to say, let's look here. Yeah, if we wanted to say, to school, should I go? Could we say that? Yes, right? We could say, zur Schule, right? We could say, zur Schule soll, and then what's gonna happen there? We'll have zur Schule, and then, yes, right? I'm sure you set it to your screen. Then we'll have our subject, right? Zur Schule soll ich gehen, yeah? And that's just if we want to put more emphasis on the zur Schule, right? If somebody asked, where should you go? And we want to have the answer right at the start, right? Zur Schule soll ich gehen, right? That's that function there, right? So all of these we could switch our subject with our direct object or whatever it is here that we have, right? Okay, so yeah, zur Schule soll ich gehen, Alter. Ja, oder willst du fahren? Oder wir wollen Bratwurst essen, ja? So ihr, I made a mistake, but I'm not going to go all the way back and edit the video for it. So just really quick, you guys don't know the verb conjugations for these, but auf Seite 126, right? Das ist Seite 127. So, right, the conjugations for these, 127. That is where you can find the conjugation for these. And these are, unfortunately, another example of irregular verbs in a lot of the cases, right? In the case of sollen and wollen, the only irregular form is, there's two. There's ich, like we've already seen. Oh yeah, zur Schule soll ich gehen, right? Normally, with a normal and regelmäßiges Verb, haben wir ein E am Ende, right? Ich solle, ja? Aber das haben wir hier nicht, right? It's just soll, yeah? No E at the end. And that is the case with every modal verb, right? They just are going, there's not going to be an E at the end, right? It's irregular. And the sie, es, which we'll see here in a second, so I won't skip ahead to that. But ihr ist immer noch regelmäßig, that's still a regular verb, right? So ihr, für ihn, right? Ihr, Modalverb, erster Platz, sollt für ihn arbeiten, right? So ihr, when we conjugate for ihr, usually we have a T at the end. And that's the case here because it's a regular verb. I'm talking way more than I usually do. I'd like put you in groups so I wouldn't have to work, but unfortunately not possible. So Und dann haben wir, and now we have an example, jetzt haben wir ein Beispiel von er, sie oder es. So, wir haben hier er, nicht zu Hause, Wir haben wollen und bleiben. Wollen und bleiben. So, hier haben wir, like we've seen with do already, right? That E, it's not wollst du fahren, it is willst du fahren. So we have a stem changing verb there as well, right? But it's still that normal ending. In this case, we keep that stem change, right? So it's still will, but we also don't put that T at the end like we normally do, right? So it's will. And like we kind of see here with ich und sie, es, right? They both don't have their ending that they normally have. Ich doesn't have E at the end. Doesn't have T at the end. Sie doesn't have T at the end. Es doesn't have T at the end. Sie, es, right? They're all the same. And that's the case with all these verbs. The irregular form is ich und sie, es. And the difference is that they don't have their normal endings there, right? So, will nicht zu Hause bleiben. He wants not at home to stay, right? He wants not at home to stay because he is stuck at home and can't do anything, right? So I think you can all relate a little bit to that sentence, right? Okay, and then we have Herr Königsmann, right? The formal you, because all of you are so formal with me. Herr Königsmann, Sie Deutsch, And that's wollen und unterrichten. Unterrichten heißt to teach, yeah? So Herr Königsmann, Sie Deutsch, So we have here our formal you. So in this case, it wouldn't be willst, it would be wollen. Yeah, Herr Königsmann, wollen Sie Deutsch unterrichten? Yeah, so again, Modalverb am Anfang. And now I'm sure you can't see at least the beginning of this sentence, but it's Svenja, nicht einkaufen, right? Svenja, nicht einkaufen, So that is third person feminine, yeah, Svenja, das ist sie, nicht einkaufen, so it's she, so das ist Svenja soll, right? Again, just like ich, they have the same form, right? Ich und sie, es have the same form. Sie soll, soll, es soll, ich soll, yeah? Svenja soll nicht einkaufen gehen, right? Einkaufen gehen. So, and we have a couple here, a couple of negations here, right? We have will nicht zu Hause bleiben, Svenja soll nicht einkaufen gehen. And that's just, I wanted to put those in there so you guys knew that, again, you don't put that in front of the verb, right? It's Svenja soll nicht einkaufen gehen. Svenja should not shopping going, right? He wants not at home to stay, right? Okay. I think that is pretty much it. I wanted also really quick to show you how to do your homework. So your homework for today is on Canvas. All of your homework is going to be on Canvas. I can't hand it out to you. So if you go to assignments, at the very top, and it should be at the very top, I'll do it in student view for you guys. If you go to assignments, again, at the very top, you've got, oh, nope. It is not at the very top in student view. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Why? Hold on. Oh. Maybe it's not. Really quick. Sorry, I know watching your... No, it's published. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I might edit this out if I feel like I want to. Let's see. Why doesn't that show up on student view? It maybe will just be in upcoming assignments, which is stupid because then you have to wade through that. Whatever. So you've got upcoming assignments. Also, yeah, that's not when your vocab quiz is. It's not the day after tomorrow. Don't worry about that. So yeah, sollen, wollen, Arbeitsblatt. You can just click on that. No, that's where you hand it in. Oh my gosh. All right, I am gonna edit this. Okay. All right. Okay. So I've edited all that out. I screwed up. So what you are going to, if you go to modules, let me put you in student view really quick. So if you go to modules and then down to Kapitel 4, that is where your homework is going to be, basically. So today is just sollen, wollen, Arbeitsblatt, right? So you'll click that. You can download that, you can print it out, you can just do it on Microsoft Word, however you guys want to do that. When you hand it in, so you're going to hand your assignments in under the assignments page, right? So go to upcoming assignments, and then you have sollen, wollen, Arbeitsblatt, and then I don't have it because I'm not a student, but here you can just click submit. Submit that to me. Again, it's due on the 31st, right? It's due the 31st, and we'll have an updated homework schedule sent out to you guys pretty soon. But yeah, so that's your first one for this chapter. Yeah, if you have questions about how to do that, please let me know. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much it. This is so weird. I hope that wasn't too rough. I'm gonna work on making it better, hopefully more engaging and easier for you guys. But that's all I've got. Ich hoffe, euch geht's gut. Hope you guys are doing well and that life isn't too sucky right now. Again, if you have any questions, get on the Discord. Please get on the Discord. Otherwise, ja, schönen Tag noch oder Abend oder Morgen oder was weiß ich. I don't know when you guys are going to watch this. If you guys are going to watch this, you better. But yeah, vielen Dank und bis zum nächsten Mal.